I'm Angeline. I'm hanging out here today with Mid, who dropped his debut album last year and is now finally getting back on tour in the US. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this, Mid.
Of course, of course. Really happy to be here with you.
Thank you. I know you're in the middle of your North American club tour right now. Where are you?
I'm in Los Angeles. I just landed yesterday night, and now I have, people prefer to party on the weekend. So during the week, I have few days to break, to do meetings, sometimes to do studio sessions too. So I'm a party harder. So I really like to party, and I missed to party a lot. It's really being I really love to party, but it's also part of my job. It's half being in studio producing, but half playing those songs in the club, sharing it with the audience and stuff. So I missed that a lot for 2 years. So yeah, you have to know that now on this tour particularly, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, exactly. I think my one of my first shows back, I was like, "Oh my God, like I never want to leave here. I love it so much." Pivoting a little bit, this is your first proper debut album after, all these years creating a sound with Club Cheval in the past, your past collaboration credits with Dua Lipa, Kanye West. When you approached your solo debut, did you have an idea of what you wanted to establish as your unique sound? What new sounds did you want to explore at first?
Yeah, the idea was not to explore a new thing with my album. I started this artist started from my needs, my deep needs that I really wanted to go a bit further in terms of production and in terms of space, than only doing an EP. When you do an EP, you have to focus and to concentrate all your ideas in one song, in two songs. So it has to be really dense dance and dance. But for when you have an album, you have it's like if you are a drawer, if you draw on a paper like that, and one day you are like, oh, that's not enough for me, I need to go on a bigger format. So this album is that, and it permitted me to work to explore more my taste, to explore more my inspiration, to do like interludes, to do like collaborations with other artists. So you have it's like having a bigger canvas.
Yeah. Well, I know that I was like reading about your debut album, Born a Loser, and I read that title and I saw that it was a reference to how you viewed yourself when you were younger. Did you
Mhm.
use that sort of loser mentality to drive you to be like, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to like produce music. I'm going to be a DJ. I'm going to do great things.
No, no, it was not. When you say it like that, it sounds a little bit negative,
Hmm.
but it was more like when I focused on my solo career after years working with other or for others. It was 4 years ago. Uh, I was like, the more I'm doing music, the way I started to do it when I was really young. I mean, without thinking too much about like, oh, I need to make a hit, or I need this format, or I definitely, I need to be another way, even like in way of style, in way of, uh, of doing music videos and everything. The more I'm connected to myself, it sounds a bit cheesy, but it's definitely now an advice I give to young producers. Like, you really need to face yourself in the mirror and say, oh, what do I have to say? How can I say it? And for me, I started by going back when I was younger, and I was a big fan of electronic music from UK, French touch, which and all those guys were sampling a lot, for example. And I started by that. What did I really like when I started music, and what do I have to say now? And you have to know that when I was younger, I was more like the geek on the computer. So when I say loser, it's a big word, but I was kind of a loser in my room by myself, trying to copy my idols. And now you have to know, like, this album, Born a Loser, it was kind of the same. Like, I was in my room. Actually, it was in my living room, because I transformed my living room into a studio. And it was the same kind of way, like uh, wearing boxers on the computer and in my studio doing synthesizers all day, and that's it. So it's more like a kind of a, how can I say, a kind of a homage, I can say, to the me, the 15 years old mid, like by himself trying to change it. Like, oh, you don't need to change, just focus on what you have to say and try to say it.
Just curious, with um, technology advancing rapidly, where anyone with a laptop and a microphone can sort of make sophisticated recordings, what are your impressions of electronic music today since it's so accessible now?
It's good first that it's accessible. Like when I was younger, it was really accessible too. I have to be honest. I don't want to sound too old, but no. But yeah, 10 years ago when I started music, I had to buy magazines about music studio and how to compress a sound or whatever. Now you can open YouTube and having the best producer explaining to you how to make a song, which is pretty interesting because when you do music, there is two things, or when you do art globally, there is what you have to say. It's your inspiration, it's what you have in mind, it's your feelings and what you have to write and everything. And you need tools to just say it. It's just as if you have a good story to tell, but you don't know how to use a pen to write it down and make a novel. You need to learn how to write, and that's it. In music, sometimes people forget that their tool. You need to learn how to use a tool because it cannot be totally random. It cannot be luck also. Sometimes people think about that. So the idea for me is like, even if you have a computer and you feel comfortable with this tool, yeah, but you have to use it perfectly. You have to be the best in your way of using your computer. And after, when you are comfortable with your tool, it could be a piano, it could be a guitar, it could be a computer, it could be a flute or whatever. But you can definitely be more. It could be way more easy for you to compose a song. Yeah.
So definitely master your tools before you
Of
go and try
course,
and master the
in
craft.
any kind of art, and actually in any kind of work, like even if you are, I don't know.
Even as an interviewer, you gotta learn about who you're interviewing before you really go in there, you know?
You do.
So, I know that you did re-release one of the tracks from your album, The Sun, with JAWNY. What
Mhm.
did you find in common with JAWNY to have him featured on the track?
How did I do, you mean?
Yeah, like how did you like what made
Ah,
you
yeah.
decide that he was the one that you wanted to have on the track?
Yeah, it was not really easy because you have to know that the Sun is becoming more and more famous in Europe.
Mhm,
It was the first version was released 4 years ago,
mhm.
uh, and little by little the track grew up, and so having an European first was not possible because the song is too much into European ears now. So I wanted someone that would have a totally uh, free mind about the song. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at the indie rock Californian scene right now, and I already worked with a girl named Spiltab, with his producer Marinelli. I worked with Mac, and so I thought like, oh, we are belonging so much with each other musically and humanly that I need to take someone from maybe this crew or this kind of this part of the world. So, and I was listening for JAWNY for a while, and I contacted him on Instagram like, oh, I know it could be a weird project for you because I didn't make the song for you, but I'm sure you can jump on the track and you can definitely show me what's your vision on the track. And he did this, and it was really really good. And And so I reproduced a little bit the song too because I wanted it a bit tougher and a bit more modern. So yeah, I'm really happy with the result. And what was really exciting is that I did the French Music Awards in Paris. It's kind of the French Grammys, and we performed the song on live on TV with JAWNY.
Well, that's all. I mean, I had a great time hanging out today, Mid. Congratulations on releasing the album. I hope you enjoy the rest of the tour and thank you so
Thanks a
much for
lot.
your time.
Of course, of course. Thanks for having me.